From as early as I can remember, I was part of his world. Whether he was managing a farm, waking up before the sun to milk the cows, or walking through a buzzing production plant surrounded by machinery, he never left me behind. I was far too young, legally speaking, to even be in some of those factories, but that never stopped him. He introduced me with pride. This is my son, in whom I'm well pleased, and he meant it. Over and over, he told me how proud he was of me. The kind of affirmation that stays with you. It shapes you. And from the age of 9, I also became his dive buddy. That was the start of another kind of adventure. Together we scuba dived and spearfished for years to come, side by side, beneath the surface of the ocean, sharing moments that most people only dream of. We explored dive sites all around the world and bonded by salt water, excitement, and a quiet understanding that comes when you're underwater with someone you trust completely. Those experiences are etched into me forever. We also had many wild business adventures, especially the trips to China. Those memories are some of my favorites. We had found ourselves eating strange food that we couldn't even pronounce, and staying in hotels that we joked about were probably rated half a star, but we laughed and made the best of every moment. I still smile thinking about him enthusiastically demonstrating quad bikes and scooters that we imported. He was like a kid with a new toy. His passion was contagious. My dad wasn't complicated. He didn't overthink things, especially when it came to business. I remember sitting in massage chairs at Changi Airport once. The next thing I knew, we were importing them. Our product catalogue kept on growing, fueled by instinct, faith, and a craziest genius. Every time a new container landed in South Africa, we'd be like kids at Christmas, and he'd always shout out, "All sold," even before we'd unpacked the boxes. And of course, Singapore. He loved to stop over there. He'd always say, "To ashore in Singapore," and that became our little tradition. He trusted me fully with business and finance, with decisions that shaped our company. He wanted me to thrive. That kind of belief in someone is rare, and I'll never stop being grateful. Dad was like my personal Google, my walking, talking ChatGPT. And we all love ChatGPT, don't we? I could ask him anything: how to fix a machine, what direction to take the business, what scripture to lean on. His wisdom was bottomless, and it always came with a heart to help. He taught me to forgive quickly and let go of the past. It's wisdom he lived by, not just preached. Our home was always open, literally. Growing up, it was like a halfway house. My mom and dad always welcomed people in need, no questions asked. And my dad fostered many young men, guiding them into a life of hope, purpose, and faith. He introduced them to Jesus. He also introduced them to a different way of thinking. Financial freedom, thinking out of the box, not being locked into the system as we know it. He had a heart that didn't know how to turn away from need, even when it didn't make sense to the rest of us. His generosity wasn't for show. I saw it again and again. Quiet, faithful, giving with no strings attached. He showed me what it meant to sow into the local church and help build God's kingdom. He showed me how to be a man of my word, how to do what I promised. He lived by a simple principle: work first, play later, and always thought outside of the box when it came to business. And he could talk a lot. I'm convinced he could talk his way out of anything. One of the funny stories was We had left work one day, there was a lot of traffic. So he decided to jump onto one of our dirt bikes that we had imported. He wanted to obviously dodge between the cars. And he was in such a hurry, had his laptop bag over his shoulder, didn't bother to put on a helmet. He got about 8 kilometers up the road, and he was pulled over by the cops. He first avoided being pulled over by them, jumping pavements and all the rest. Eventually they blocked him, he had nowhere to go. And I got a call from the police to actually go and help him. But by the time I got there, he'd actually spoken his way out of it and apologized, and they'd become buddies, you know. And I was like, well, that's just weird. Normally it's the father that comes and rescues the son. It was reversed. But I saw that as favor. It just followed him wherever he went. He was uncomplicated, so he didn't overthink things. To me, he was a hero. He felt invincible. That's why it's actually so difficult to process all of this, because you see your dad as someone that's going to live forever. And yet even heroes have their final chapter. But I know without a doubt that this isn't the end. What was so special over this last year that he spent in the UK was how God had restored his soul. And that was very special to us. So today, we honor him, we remember him, we celebrate the life he lived so fully and generously. The scripture I had was John 14:1, which says, heaven is real. Jesus said, my Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have not told you, I'm going to prepare a place for you. And so I believe my dad is home in a room prepared just for him.